welcome Henrik Stenson and Justin Rosier to the virtual press room in the Zurich Classic in New Orleans. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes, guys. Justin, you're making your 14th start, having won the event in 2015, and you guys have played together before, so if we could just get a few opening comments from each of you all. We'll start with you, Justin, on being back and playing together again.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 14 years. I've unfortunately missed, I guess, the last two Zurich Classic. I mean, I know we didn't play last year, and the year before that, we had a family sort of situation and what have you, so I've missed. It was actually great, really great to be back. I guess it's been 3 calendar years, really, since I've been back here in New Orleans, so that makes me feel really old if I've already played it 14 times and I've missed the last 3 years. So, yeah, really excited to be back. It's a fun tournament. And yeah, always fun hanging around Henrik. Can't wait for some up close and personal with his dry sense of humor this week. And yeah, I'll let you talk about our wonderful success here.
To come, you mean?
Yeah.
No, luckily I haven't been here 14 years with you, because then I would feel a lot older than I do. But this is the third time lucky for us, really. Teamed up the first two years, and we didn't have much success, so we're obviously hoping and looking to turn that around this time. And same thing, it's a great event. I think it was a great addition to this tournament, having the team format, and a lot of players really enjoyed the week, and I think the fans and spectators do as well, because it's something different. It's like a bit of a fresh air to see something slightly different compared to the regular 72-hole tournaments that we play most of the time. So really fun week, and looking forward to teaming up with Justin and turning that fabulous record that we have here around this week.
Yeah, I actually feel like there's a lot of pressure on us, because reading between the lines, Henrik phoned me up and said, "Hello, partner, should we give it one more try?" So I guess this, let's see. I feel like I better bring all I've got this week.
Yeah, bring all you got.
Well, you're clearly definitely bringing some levity to the situation. So one more question for me, and then we'll open up. And just a reminder to those on the line, if you do have a question, please type your name in the chat, and I'll call on you. So along those lines of added pressure, just wanted to see, do you guys feel any added pressure knowing you're not necessarily playing just for yourself? You have somebody else in the mix. I would imagine in a case like the two of you guys, there may not be, but can you see a scenario where there may be added pressure playing with the teammate?
You want to go? I want to go?
Listen, I think that's always the case, especially guys who haven't done a lot of team golf. I think that there's always that temptation to say sorry, or that temptation to try to be too perfect, or that temptation, to not want to let your partner down. But we've let each other down multiple times already, so I think it's
we're kind of over that hurdle.
We're over that hurdle.
Yeah.
I mean, Henrik can maybe talk a bit more about our relationship, maybe in Ryder Cups and.
Yeah, no, I think Justin is kind of hitting the note there with. I mean, we're both going to try, and in any team out there this week, everyone's going to try their hardest. There's certainly that element that you don't want to let your partner down, but you're doing that by trying to do your best and trying to play as freely as you can. And we're both going to miss, and no one's doing that intentionally. So it's just to move on and get on with it. And I think a key part is that we know each other so well from many years, both playing together in the Ryder Cups, but also playing amateur golf and kind of going way back, as they say. So we know each other and trust each other, and I think that's been obviously key to our success as well in the Ryder Cups, and having that comfort. And we also play a very similar game, I'd say, when we play our finest, and that makes it kind of easy out of a strategic and tactical standpoint as well. So we know each other well, we know each other's games really well, and it's all about having a fun week out there together.
Okay, well with that we'll open up and take a few questions. We'll start with Brian Michael with Golf Digest. Brian, go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for doing this. 2 questions, very different. First one, if you could just maybe walk me through the strategy of playing an event like this and how you actually go about plotting that out versus a normal week for each of you on tour.
Well, I think when it comes to the format, we're obviously playing 2 rounds of better ball and 2 rounds of foursomes or alternate shots, and it's just trying to figure out the details there on how to play this golf course the best way, and who feels comfortable taking certain tee shots and so on. So I think we kind of sussed that part out pretty good at this point, since we've been here before. And yeah, I mean, you know, better ball, you got to play aggressive. You got to play aggressive as well in the alternate shot format, because the scores have generally been very low around this golf course. So you don't want to get left behind and try and make up a lot of ground. So you better be out there firing and ready to go when Thursday morning comes.
I think the only thing that we might have learned through the years is that I think the alternate shot format we're probably pretty good at. You know, that's been our strength probably in the Ryder Cup. I think the 4-ball better ball, that's kind of an interesting one. I think the temptation to take on every flag because you feel like you've got a partner standing next to you, but then if you do miss a shot, now your partner's feeling like, if you're going to make an obvious bogey or double, if you hit in the water, for example, it's very difficult for your partner to then play free golf. So I think that the mentality of having 2 birdie putts on every hole, I think is quite an important one, and I've always felt like that works slightly better than
having none.
Than having none, certainly, but you know, all guns blazing. Because I think it happened to us in the past. You know, one of us will make a mistake, and then the other one steps up, and if the other one makes a bogey off the back of the other one's mistake, that's when you get super frustrated.
Yeah, and you kind of lose the momentum and so on. So yeah, I mean the golf course here at the TPC Louisiana is got some really, you know, good birdie chances, but there's a couple of holes in particular, a few of the par 3s that are very challenging, and you're certainly feeling a lot better if you're standing there with a 4-iron with water down the left side, if your partner is on the edge of the green or on the green rather than in the water. So we'll try and avoid that scenario this time around.
And then just secondly, a different question. There's a report out there about the Tour's Player Impact Program. I know both of you are obviously familiar with Premier Golf League and sort of that, and this sort of seems to be a direct response to that. I was just curious to get your thoughts on the concept of a bonus pool for players at the end of the year, and just your general thoughts about it.
Well, when it comes to social media content and so on, I'm just not sure if I can keep up with some of the guys and do enough practical jokes, you know, to broaden my following to have an impact. But we'll see if anything on that changes. But yeah, I mean it's obviously a combination to premiere the guys who have a big impact on tour and the tournaments and so on in different areas. So I haven't really gotten into that. I feel at this point I'd be better spending my time on trying to make birdies and getting my game in shape rather than figuring out what to do to try and impact on that side. So I can't say that I'm like fully engaged in that activity at this point, but obviously an incentive to try and play well and bring other things to the table as well.
Yeah. Justin, do you feel like this is something? I mean, we saw the Premier League and what they've done in soccer, football.
Yeah. I mean,
your thoughts, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are concepts around the world that, you know, want to focus on the best players and the best players being together more often, right? And I think with media dollars being so astronomical these days, and obviously 4, 5, 6 guys always being the ones that are being used to promote the tournament, I guess it's just a way of trying to sort of incentivize them and help them out. And not that they need much helping out, but you know, a rising tide lifts all ships. So I don't know if, you know, obviously the whole tour's benefit is very much from a group of guys, but if you really want to think about it, one guy for so long that, you know, it's just a way of maybe saying thank you, or I don't know. But obviously there's lots of ways that money could also be used in different ways to support the tour. So there's going to be lots of people with different opinions, but yeah, it's going to be, I guess it's been announced today, so let's just see what the reaction is.
Just generally speaking, do you like it? Are you a fan of the program?
If you're in it.
Fair enough.
Listen, I think you do want to incentivize the top players to create content. It's very easy for the top players to say no, because it doesn't serve them. So if you are looking at content creation, like Henrik's talking about content, that's what it's coming down to these days. So if it serves the fan and if it serves the game of golf, and it gives the guys a much better reason to say yes to something, then it's probably a good thing for everybody. And hopefully that's the way it's intended.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, looks like we've got two more questions. First comes from Espen Blacker at Eurosport Norway.
How are you guys? I was just wondering, firstly, who do you see as the biggest favorites this week and why? It's such a different format than anything else. Do you feel like there's any kind of players that have an advantage in this format? If so, why?
Good question. To be honest, I haven't really looked into seeing a lot of the other pairings. I mean, I'm sure quite a few will be similar compared to previous years, but I'd say I'm not really familiar with kind of who's teaming up with who compared to what's been going on before. So I'm not sure if I'm that qualified to answer that question. But I think there might be, you know, a few guys maybe feel a little bit more relaxed or feeling slightly different in this format, and more than anything, when you're playing a team event or in team format, you can kind of feed off each other, and if you get on a good run, you can make each other better and really pick up that momentum and do some good things. So I'm sure we're going to see some good runs from some of the pairings.
I mean, I would say, just looking at, I saw it this morning, Tony Finau, Cameron Champ. I follow Cameron's career quite closely, just based on Sean Foley, and looks like he's beginning to play really nicely. Obviously, Tony's in great form. The way both those guys hit the ball, you know, if they get on half a streak around here, that could be a really tough team to beat, just based on the weapons that they have. And you know, John Rahm always plays well, and very competitive guy, loves the team environment, and obviously Ryan Palmer, his playing partner, is also playing well. So, you know, I think those are two good pairings.
They won before.
Then
right?
they won,
so,
yeah, sort of like defending champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and secondly, being a Norwegian, I have to ask you guys about the first Norwegian pairing in a kind of tournament like this, Victor Hovland and Chris Ventura. What are your thoughts on them, and do you think what they have to compete this week?
Yeah, I didn't know they were playing together, but that's fun. Good news. Obviously, as a Swede, it's high on my list to try and beat the Norwegians. You know how that goes, right? But no, I mean they're both strong players, and Victor obviously had a great run here in the last couple of years. So yeah, it'd be interesting to follow, and I promise you from the bottom of my heart, I will try my hardest to beat them.
All right, I guess I'm Swedish for the week too then.
Yeah, honorary Swede next to me here.
Perfect, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, we get another Sean Martin with BJTour.com. Sean?
Just curious, as an Englishman and a former Open champion, what will excite you most about playing an Open Championship for the first time in 2 years when you get to Royal St. George's? Or what will you miss most about the Open Championship?
I thought you said Englishman. No?
He says,
No.
as an Englishman, I guess you're an adopting one. You're an Open champion.
Yeah.
So you get to comment.
One Englishman, one Open champion.
I don't know. So from my point of view, I guess it's the crowds. That's the the local support, the home support, the one major championship where you do get that. I always feel like an Open Championship Raw or an Open Championship fan experience is a little bit different. And as a home player, obviously a lot of them are in Scotland, but I do feel like the Scots even do a decent job of cheering for the English. But being sort of in England itself, you got Birkdale, Royal St George's, Lytham. There's only a few that are actually in England. So for me, that's an added special feeling for an Open Championship, and Henrik can talk more importantly about what it feels like to hold that claret jug.
Yeah, it is a special event, no question, and one that I grew up just longing or wishing to one day tee it up in, and then of course it's nothing short of a childhood dream to stand there one day on the 18th and get announced as the Open champion and the champion golfer of the year. So that was nothing short of spectacular on my end, and like Justin says, the crowds are amazing. They're very knowledgeable about their golf, and they appreciate good golf no matter how who hits the shot and who's the one that makes the ball go to the hole. So yeah, it's a very, very special week, and it was dearly missed last year. So really looking forward to teeing it up at St George's this upcoming summer.
And looking forward to some good weather. I feel like the pocket where Royal St George's sits is like that's the one opportunity where you do play in 30-degree sunshine. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there's definitely a little microclimate in the southeast that it can be very different to playing up north.
Yeah, I love a 5-hour car wash round though. It's nothing bad with that.
And Justin, playing with Will Zalatoris Saturday at Augusta, what did you see in his game, or what impressed you most about him as a young up-and-coming player?
I mean, it's a situation that's not easy to deal with. After being out on tour 20 years, playing in the final group of any major, the Masters probably especially, and it just looked easy. And I guess that's what struck me the most. I like his game. I like the power that he has. I like the fact that I like the way he hits the driver specifically. I think it's kind of got the right way. He hits it the right way for the modern game. And yeah, just how the fact he's unfazed and he seems to have a good perspective on everything right now. But I'm sure the expectations will creep up now, and I think he's been playing off the gratitude for quite some time, and that's going to be his next challenge. Is really the expectation that comes along with his great play now. But as a golfer, unbelievable.
And I think it was just extraordinary to see someone hit the ball that far when you're that skinny. That's just that's just amazing.
With the driver, is it just the power fade you're talking about as far as for the
Yeah, I love the fact, because for me you should hit up on the drive, and this is where I'm going to talk about the TrackMan, which Henrik loves. We did a clinic together one time, and I went like 10-15 minutes into the most complex D-plane analysis, and Henrik was like, right, everybody, I'm just going to put your heads back on your shoulders now, and then whatever he said. But no, the fact that he hits up on it, you can say that he stays on his right side, hits up on it, and hits a nice fade. I think with high ball speeds, it seems to be quite difficult to draw the ball. And I think, for me, that power fade seems to be the easiest way to hit a driver at speed.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I've just got one last question that will cut you guys loose. I know both of you guys are both advocates for increasing playing opportunities for women, interest in the game, so forth. Justin, with your pro series for women in the UK, and Henrik, the Scandinavian mixed play you co-host with Monica. Just a few thoughts on how you see the success and so forth of playing opportunities and interest among women in the game.
Yeah, we had a press like a media day the other day together with Annika. Obviously, I'm super excited to co-host the Scandinavian mix together with her. She's a legend within the game, and also someone who cares a lot about the game and puts a lot of time and effort back into it. And we try and do the same. So it's I'm really looking forward to the event. It's a unique one. The first of its kind, having both men and women playing together in the same tournament for the same price check, and it's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure we're going to have some little challenges, getting the setup and getting all that to work out perfectly the first year. But it's a innovative and inclusive concept, and it's not just going to be a celebration of golf in Sweden on the men's and women's side. I think it's going to be an event that's going to be seen and heard around the world, really, and that's really the part where you can get those benefits and really spread the word around.
And I think that's unbelievable, is obviously the concept that these guys have, and obviously the slow and steady march towards equality and pay equality within the sport, I think is what I'm trying to help push. And obviously I think that pay structure doesn't come without the ladies being profiled and highlighted and their stories told, and people at home and the fans beginning to know their names and their faces and kind of get a little bit of background on who they are. And obviously that's sort of been what the Rose Ladies Series is all about, creating a platform for them to play through lockdown and also try to support times of the year where their schedule isn't as strong. So just giving, like as an athlete, you've got to keep your skill set sharp. So we're trying to support the playing opportunity, but at the same time very cognizant of telling the stories and trying to create, uplift the profile. So the journey towards a better pay equality is possible, and that's why your event is amazing.
Okay, well, very well said. Well, with that, we will let you guys go. Justin, Henrik, we appreciate your time as always, and wish you guys the best of luck this week together.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
a
guys.
lot.